Hi guys, it's Amber from Amber Eats Books, and I'm here today actually with a discussion video. I haven't really made too many of these, but I was watching a video on Olive's channel. Her channel name is A Book Olive. I will link her down below if you want to check her out. And she had made a video in the last few weeks about DNFing books. And it just kind of got me thinking about how I DNF books and why I DNF books, and I've been kind of struggling with certain things about DNFing books that I just wanted to talk about and get your opinion on. So recently I DNF'd a book called Handle with Care by Jodi Picoult. And when I DNF'd it, I was like, okay, how do other people do this when they DNF books? One, when I've been DNFing books, I don't rate them. I just feel like I haven't read enough of the story, I guess. I haven't read the book in its entirety. Should I be able to give it a rating? Maybe the things that were a problem in the beginning might not be so much of a problem at the end, and I just didn't stick with it long enough or whatever. So maybe I'm not allowed to give it a rating. It's kind of how I feel. Like I feel like I'm not allowed to give it a rating. Do you guys give it a rating when you DNF books? There have been some here or there where I felt like I read enough. I read at least more than half, so I felt okay with giving it a rating. But like this recent book that I finished, that I DNF'd, I gave myself 152 pages into the book. I mean, that is a good chunk of change. Should I be able to give it a rating? Because I find myself that if I don't rate books that I DNF, my ratings are only between 3 to 5 stars on Goodreads, because if I didn't like it, if I did not finish it, it normally would have gotten a 2 or a 1 star from me. So, should I rate them? Should I not? What is your guys' opinion? I would love to hear what you have to say, because I've been kind of struggling with this in the last couple of weeks, which kind of segues into the next point. If you DNF a book, do you count it as read? Because I have been for the last little while, at least the last couple months of 2016, I started counting them as read. Before that, I would just remove them from my shelves and take them off, and that was that. But in the last few months, I count them as read because, one, it'll show on my Goodreads that yes, I did read it and I didn't like it and I didn't continue with it. And two, some of these books I've read, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, sometimes over 100, sometimes 200 pages. That could have been a book in itself. So do I count it as read? I personally count it as read because I feel like I gave my time and so much effort to it. Plus, I want to be able to keep track and be able to say, okay, yeah, I did read that. I don't want it to come up as want to read or anything on my list, because I have a bad memory and I will forget that I didn't finish it. You know what I mean? So yeah, what do you guys do? Do you mark it as read? Do you count it towards your number of books for the year? Or should I not do that, I guess? I can mark it as read on Goodreads, but should I count it towards the number of books I read that year? That's just one that I don't have a very set opinion on. I just kind of have been doing it for the last little while, and I didn't feel like there was probably anything wrong with that until I was watching Olive's video, and I think I saw in the comments or something people were discussing that, and I don't know. I guess I never really thought about it before. Yeah, I didn't finish it, so should it be counting towards my yearly goal? But then if I take it off of my read list, then I won't remember that I read it. I don't know. This is kind of a little bit of a rambly video because I don't know. I'm just throwing my thoughts out there. Also, when you DNF, do you have a certain number of pages that you have to read before you DNF? I don't think I have an issue with that. I think I will give it a solid 30, 40, 50 pages. It's not a set number. If I'm really not feeling it 20, 30 pages in, I'll DNF it. But I like the goal of about, 40 or 50 pages, because I feel like you at least get a sense of what the book's about. And I want to give it at least a good old try before I just say, no, I'm not going to read anymore. But do you guys have a set number? Do you feel like there should be a set number of pages? Or do you just feel it should just go on your mood, whether you like it or not? It doesn't matter where you are in the book. Just DNF it. And also, are there some of you out there that don't DNF? Because before I think it was last year, I was not a person to DNF books. I would read the same book for 3 weeks and like force myself to finish it and count it as read, because I don't know, for a while I just felt like if I didn't read the whole thing, it didn't count as something that I read. It didn't count as having an experience with the book. But then I kind of reevaluated the beginning of last year, and I was like, if I don't like a book, why am I wasting my time? There are so many other books that I really want to read and would just die to read, that why am I wasting my time on something that I'm like forcing myself to read? So I'm a firm believer in DNFing just in general, but are there some of you out there that don't DNF? And how do you deal with that? How do you deal with it if you really don't like the book? How do you deal with like pushing yourself through it? Because it was driving me nuts. It was literally causing me stress, and I had to like talk myself down from the edge and be like, listen, you need to stop this. You have control over what you read and don't read, and if you don't like it, you don't have to read it. So that is my video for today. It was just kind of a discussion video. I just wanted to start a discussion down in those comments about how people DNF, why they DNF, does it count, does it not count, are there a certain number of pages, are there not a certain number of pages? I just want to talk about it with you guys. So use those comments down below and let me know what you think. I hope you guys have a great week and happy reading.